Now, a fun new Irish movie website was brought to my attention last week. rossvross.com is run by Metro movie reviewers, and we have creators Ross McDonald and Ross McDonough here to tell us about it. Ross, how you doing?
Not too bad.
And yourself, Ross?
I'm not too bad either.
Now, what's the website about?
Well, as you say, we're both news reporters primarily for a Metro newspaper. We do movie reviews too, and we found while we were both in the office, we just disagreed all the time basically on which movie was better than the other. And I think Ross got separated from us. He went over to London, but the arguments continued, and we just decided to set up a website. Maybe we could get the public to help us divide our opinions.
All right, because I was looking at one of them. The first one that caught my eye was Batman Begins versus Batman Forever. Who's championing Batman Forever?
Well, that would be me.
Explain yourself, young man.
Well,
how would you, like, after the darkness of Batman? I reinvented Batman, Tim Burton, and Batman Returns actually went darker. Ross, I think you'll agree with me.
Did indeed.
And then Joel Schumacher comes along and ruins it for everyone.
Well, I think Batman Forever gets a bit of a bad rap. As I mentioned on the website, Batman is a comic, and comics are meant to be fun, basically. And what everybody forgets is Batman is kind of supposed to be camp. I mean, everybody knows Adam West was the best Batman, and I'll have no arguments on that front. And I think Batman Forever heralds back to those biff bash oomph wham days, and it's good, it's fun to look at. It's colourful, and
It's crap. Absolute rubbish.
You're talking nonsense. And Jim Carrey, I think, is without a doubt the best villain Batman has come up against as the Riddler. I mean, you look at Batman Begins, you've got Ra's al Ghul, he's not even in the film for most of it. You've got the Scarecrow, he's just the guy with a bag over his head. I mean, they're just not intimidating. I think Jim Carrey as the Riddler was the pinnacle of Batman.
Yeah, but the thing about Batman Begins is the first film that actually concentrated on Batman. You know, you've no Jack Nicholson hamming it up, you've no Danny DeVito stealing anyone's thunder. It's about Batman.
Yeah, but who
and
wants
Christian Bale is great. He's a great Batman.
Yeah, but who wants to look at just one character? Like, if it was just about Batman, the comic could just have Batman in it and nobody.
Yeah, but who wants to see Chris O'Donnell as Robin? Nobody. Chris O'Donnell, he was good in Circle of Friends, and that was it. That's about it.
Well, Robin might not be the strongest.
He wasn't
point
that good
of
in
the
Circle of Friends either, Ross.
Circle of
Come
Friends
on.
is great. Circle of Friends is great.
He's not. It's not the strongest point of the film, but I mean, it's got enough. Tommy Lee Jones is great. So, I mean, it's got enough. I think it beats Batman Begins hands down.
Well, that's a typical argument, but the big one, and I really, this is going to cause a furor of abuse, I think. Empire Strikes Back versus Return of the Jedi. I think we're going to give the argument to Empire Strikes Back
I
first.
think there isn't even an argument. Empire Strikes Back is a fantastic film, and it's sullied by Return of the Jedi coming after it. You have, in Empire Strikes Back, you have Darth Vader and Han Solo, two of the greatest characters ever, and then in Return of the Jedi, Han Solo just becomes comic relief. They should have killed him off. Harrison Ford said he wanted to be killed off. They really should have killed him off.
Ross?
Again, Return of the Jedi gets a really, really bad rap. I mean,
Deservedly so, Ross. Come on.
I know this is blasphemy here now, and I have to apologise. I mean, Star Wars is all six, my favourite film series of all time. But nothing actually happens in The Empire Strikes Back if you think about it. It opens with the Empire chasing the rebels, and it finishes with the Empire chasing the rebels.
Nothing happens. Come on. Luke Skywalker finds out that Darth Vader is his dad.
Yeah,
Han Solo gets
Han
Solo gets frozen. What more do you want to happen?
Luke gets his hand chopped off.
That's true. But I mean, you can't base films on reveals. Like, I mean, look what's happened to Shyamalan's career now. He's based all his films on reveals, and he's pants now. I mean, Jedi, nothing ever stops in Jedi. It's a continuous. If you excuse the cliche, it's a roller coaster from start to finish. Empire, while great the first time round meeting Yoda and getting the big reveal, when you go back to it for rewatchability, it's not that good.
You kind of fast forward through the whole Dagobah
exactly. You skip.
Right?
Yeah, Yoda's wisdom's great, but like once you've learned it off word for word, as most of us have, you know, you don't want to sit through it. You know, you just want to fast forward to the good lightsaber scraps.
Ewoks are much better though.
Well, no, Ewoks, I think
teddy bears, Care Bears.
Ewoks, I think
Care Bear cousins.
It's not fair on Ewoks because what you forget is they emulate the whole reason of Star Wars. It's about the small, unlikely rebel alliance toppling the mighty Empire, and that's just what happened on Endor. You little Ewoks, they were underestimated, just like Grand Moff Tarkin underestimated the X-Wings.
Yeah, but he killed Boba Fett, one of the coolest characters in a sci-fi movie. He killed Boba Fett in the most stupidest way. Was it Han Solo's holding a spear or something? He turns around and hits the jetpack.
Comedy gold. Now, well, actually, if you look into the Star Wars canon, in the books, Boba Fett actually survives. His armour is undigestible by the Sarlacc, so you can scratch that point.
Why do you hate Return of the Jedi so much, Ross?
Well, when I was younger, I used to love Return of the Jedi because I had all the toys. But I think once you get older, you realise that it was just a movie just to sell toys, and and that's about it.
I felt it was the three new prequels as such. I felt like buy this toy sequence, buy this toy. I will say for Return of the Jedi, it has the introduction of one of the coolest characters, or the coolest introduction of one of the best characters. Luke Skywalker at Jabba's palace. You know that long shot, and you just see this. He's saying silhouetted walking down. So that was pretty cool. But then he goes and ruins it by getting himself captured.
He's no Jedi. The film, besides everything Ross argues about, the ending as well. I mean, you've got that three-way finale, the battle for Endor, the battle against the Death Star, and then Luke and Darth Vader fighting off in front of the Emperor. Like that's never been recreated in cinema. That three-way climax, like it's awesome, for want of a better word. One
of the other arguments is Goodfellas versus Departed. Who picked Goodfellas over Departed?
Well, I took Goodfellas because I can't really take the Departed serious, or the Departed.
I would go for Goodfellas as well, Ross. Why do you like The Departed over Goodfellas?
The Departed is probably the best comedy film of the last 10 years.
Comedy?
It's so funny. Start to finish, it's just... You've got all these people killing each other, fair enough, but in between, you've got Alec Baldwin hamming it up, Mark Wahlberg hamming it up.
Trying to frown somebody into an early grave.
But in amongst all the sort of hamminess, you've got Leo DiCaprio, and that's the reason why I think The Departed is better than Goodfellas. Whereas Goodfellas is a film of everybody hamming up.
We just got a text in from Ian in Castleknock. Batman Forever was okay, he says, but Batman Begins was a better Batman. Bale is better.
Yeah, Bale was better. I mean, Bale, Val Kilmer. I mean, I'm not going to argue Val Kilmer. Yeah, who played him anyway? But I would just point out, like, the type of film that... I mean, you see how much better The Dark Knight is than Batman Begins, and you can see how much worse than Batman Forever is so much better than Batman and Robin. You know, you can see how bad camp type of film.
Right. Yeah, but Batman Forever was the first sort of odious step towards Batman and Robin.
I'm running out of time. Before I go, I'm going to say here's a couple of ideas for you. You've got Driving Miss Daisy versus Confessions of a Driving Instructor. How's that? Kramer versus Kramer. On its own, which Kramer are you going to go for?
Predator.
Versus Predator. I got The Exorcist versus The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I don't know if you've seen that one. Yeah. And The Devil and Daniel Webster versus The Devil and Daniel Johnson.
Oh, very good.
Interesting. Well, look, thanks to Ross and Ross. Check out rossvross.com. It's a cool and fun website.